stick around and I show you why this column looks way different than this column, even though it's for the same house. Here we're building the foundation work of a 250 square meter villa. In consideration with the client, we decided to lift the upper part of the house and the lower the back part a bit, so because this whole terrain is a bit on an elevation.
So tell me, if you don't mind, like how did this client find you? How did he find you? And
oh well, he found me actually via the YouTube videos that I have online. And then he contacted me and said, "Oh, can you maybe show me around, and how do you do this and how do you do that?" We've been talking for more than a year.
Really?
Yeah, more than a year.
Like, what do you think made the final decision that he chose to go with you?
I think the final decision was when I showed him my work at Calvin's house, and that's pretty impressive. And basically, what you don't see, the amount of finesse that's in the concrete work, which people over here call bruto, like brute works, because they're accustomed to making it all look nice afterwards. But I'll try to make it look nice from the get-go. I am proud of my work, so a lot of people, they are afraid to show their work because there's all kind of problems going on. But
Right.
I'm proud of my work and I like to show it. And
Right.
that's really what sells me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what would be your biggest warning or warning to tell other people? Say somebody's watching this video right now and they're worried, okay, I want to build a house in Dominican Republic or in Samana, Las Terrenas, and I'm worried that fill in the blank. Like, what are they worried about, and how do you?
Well, worried that you got a bad work done, bad construction, which will result in problems after you get your key. And to counter that, I would suggest to make sure that your payment schedules are in order with the progress of the work, so you don't get any surprises that way. And that you also stay the time of construction, but make sure because a lot of people think, oh, I'm gonna agree that it needs to be finished before that date, for example. But you should also do it the other way around. You say you have to take at least that amount of time for my construction, because all your columns, your foundation, everything needs its time to cure. And you could end up with, let's say you say, yeah, okay, for this price I want my house to be finished within 6 months, but you could end up with a house that's finished within 1 month.
Right.
And that's also not what you want. But they say, yeah.
So you're saying they'll let the client speed it along in an unsafe or unhealthy manner, basically.
Yeah, they can just put an army of unskilled labor on something. They come like ants on a mountain, and then after 1 month you got some form of construction. Yeah.
Right. And that's what they do here a lot.
A lot, yeah, because there's work all over the place. So people just want to finish to get on to the next one. Yeah.
So generally speaking, how much more does it cost to hire DutchCraftBuilders and have my house built the right way, as opposed to me going hiring,
I like to think that I'm pretty competitive price-wise. It's just that I cannot compete with people that expect a house to be built in a month, and well, we are also increasing our build speed, but not at the cost of quality. But price-wise, I think I'm pretty competitive with every other builder. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not that we're like way out of price range.
That's good
because of quality. No,
I love to hear that.
I look for my profit in a smart way of working and efficiency with our materials. That's where I also, because I work with such straight lines, like maybe you can see from here. If you walk by, you see it's all perfectly aligned, already out of the ground. Now, this means that afterwards, when we're going to plaster the house, I can I can plaster the whole thing with just a thin layer of plaster. Well, I'll show you over there what they did at the wall. You get like 2 inches of plaster just to be able to make it look nice.
Okay,
But that's all material. Somebody got to pay it.
right. So what you're saying is when they don't make the walls right, for example, this is just one of a million different things. When they don't make this straight, they got to come in with plaster, basically, and fill in the mistakes to make it look nice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So if it's a little bit this way, you got like an inch of plaster on the other side of the house.
Yeah. Yeah. So for instance, you look at this wall, it looks nice, right? It looks pretty nice, straight, and it is for the eye. But if you come closer, you see how they achieve these results. Look at this. This is like 2 inches of plaster only here, but this is like closer to 3 inches of plaster. You see, but this is all got to be paid for in material, but also in the work, only because the wall was not built straight.
Right, so they use the plaster to fill in the space to make the wall look straight.
Yeah, but that means that
the client has got to pay for their mistakes.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So if they would have been a little bit more precise, like you are, then they would have saved all this cost of materials.
Yeah. So that's why I can work competitive with people from here. I can work with competitive prices.
Right. You could sit down and think, well, how can I make this more efficient?
Yeah, because I would charge the same thing for a wall, but with me you would get a real thin layer of plaster, and it's even better because I mean this is too thick. You see all the cracking here. This is just too thick.
Yeah.
You should not be putting on plaster this thick. You see this kind of concrete work. If you would have to make that look nice, that's just a lot of material, a lot of work. Maybe even they would have to hammer it down, and then you could also by hammering ruin your wall.
Right, because it's not flat, is what you're saying. It's not smooth enough.
Yeah. Then you get let's see. If you're not serious about what you're doing, then you can end up with a wall like this. Now, this is common practice, mind you, because they say, "Oh, we'll arrange that with the plaster work, no problem." What are you talking about? It's no problem. It's gonna look perfect. Yeah, it's gonna look perfect.
But the cost will not be perfect.
Things look nice, but it is not perfect, of course. So, what separates this construction site from others?
What?
Fire extinguisher. Amongst others.
What do you mean? They don't have fire extinguishers in other job sites here?
No, they don't even have toilets in other job sites. Look at that. That's a toilet there. That's a toilet for our workers. Yeah. I don't want to send them into the field, but that is common practice, yeah. But you see, for earthquakes, because of these lateral forces, they get exponentially higher, the forces, when you go higher up in the air with your construction.
Right.
And since this is only a one-level building, it's really heavy duty like this, because you don't really get too much of that with only a one-level building. So this is designed like this, like wide, and with heavy rebar in it. It's because our client wanted to have a super rigid structure, earthquake-proof. So this is to be able to handle lateral forces. So if the earth moves this way, this column is gonna cope with those forces. Yeah.
And this one? And this is just a regular column.
Yeah. Now, to achieve that result, we don't need to build each and every column this way. We put them in a strategic place crosswise into the structure, so the other ones are just like the sturdy, heavy-duty columns that everybody is accustomed to of DutchCraftBuilders, you know. It's also pretty strong.